Alright folks, so I have some upgrades for the LC Racing EMB monster truck which I'm about to install. So firstly, I have this Wheelie bar with me, so I'll be installing this. Next, I have this sway bar kit for the truck, and I have this upgraded metal servo Barton D135F, and for this we need the metal servo horn as well, which I have with me. These are the upgrades that I'll be installing on the LC Racing EMB monster truck. So let's get started. So in this first episode we will look at the installation of the wheelie bar and see how the manual is. And here's the part number for the wheelie bar. It's L6270. So these are the parts which are included: some bearings and screws with nuts, a pack of screws, the side post for the wheelie bar, and the wheels. And here is the instruction sheet. So first we have to assemble one side of the wheelie bar and then attach the two with the plastic part over here. And then we have to remove the rear portion where the rear bumper is attached, and then mount the wheelie bar. And we can adjust the angle of the wheelie bar, so let's see how to do this. So first we have to install the wheel on the side wheelie bar mount. This is the first step, and as I'm looking at the sheet, we have this tiny post as well, which will be inserted in the wheel once the bearings are installed. So in one packet we have the bearings and the screw. I'll install the bearings first. And there are two bearings for each wheel. Then this plastic post will be inserted in the bearing hole. And after that, this is the left side of the wheelie bar post. So if the truck is facing like this, then this will be on the left side of the truck. We need to connect the wheel and the post together. So here we have the space to mount the nut. So the nut is installed. We need to grab the longer screw, which is included in the bearing packet, and then grab the wheel. And the circular part of the tiny post, which is extruded, will face the nut. So this is the plain side of the post, and here we have the extruded plastic portion. So this is how it will be installed, and the nut and the screw will be secured like so. And I'm using 2mm hex wrench. Alright. Similarly, I'll assemble the other half. So first the wheel and the bearings, and the plastic post, and the bearing might lift from the other side once you install the plastic post, so make sure to seat the bearing correctly. I'll grab the other half of the mounting post, insert the nut, and then making sure the plastic circular housing which is extruded is facing towards the wheelie bar side post, and then the longer screw, which is 3 by 1.6 millimeter, is installed in the nut. Now we don't have any washer in between the screw and the bearing. If you want, you can use one, but you might have to use a longer screw. Now it's a matter of connecting these two posts together. So for that we have to use this plastic portion. We have brackets for this part which will basically fit right through like so. Here's how the assembly looks like once they're connected together. And then we have to use 2.6 by 8 millimeter screw which are included in the bearing packet, which have to be screwed in. There is no threading in the plastic post. You will have to manually thread the screw inside. So you'll have to apply some pressure. You have to hold it firmly and then install the screw. Otherwise, the screw will push back. And then the last screw. The screw has actually become hot. So hold the post from the side with some pressure and then thread in the screw. I think I might have to loosen the screw for the wheels slightly so that the wheels can spin freely. For now I'll just loosen the screw a tad bit. So don't over tighten the screws for the wheels, otherwise they might bind and the wheelie bar may not work very well. So we have completed the first and the second step. Now it's time to work on the truck. So I need to remove the body first. I'll have to remove the wheels so that the tools can fit better. Here's my X-Max, by the way, which is waiting to be bashed and abused. It's still brand new, by the way. I haven't got the time to run the truck yet because it's been raining outside. So firstly, on the truck I'll have to remove the rear bumper. So with the 2mm hex wrench I'll remove the two screws which hold the bumper in place. And we'll have to also remove the two screws that hold the bumper from the bottom. Now these screws are actually 1.5mm. Now one thing to remember is that once the wheelie bar is installed, you won't be able to perform any backflips. If you need to clean the assembly, you can do it at this stage. I will have to remove this part as well because here's the replacement for the wheelie bar. So using the 2mm hex wrench once more. Now we have some additional screws which I think will have to be used for the alternative plastic part because it's a lot thicker than the regular part for the rear bumper. So I'll keep the original screws and the plastic shock absorber, we can say, aside, And we have this additional plastic part which I think will adjust the angle of the wheelie bar, which has to be installed over here. So we have to remove these two screws as well and then install this over here. All we have to do is just place this part over here in whichever orientation, doesn't matter, but it has to be secured on this hinge plate like this. And then the screw that goes in is 2.6 by 10 millimeters. So this is the assembly that we are currently in progress. So here we have the screws that are in the packaging. So this is 2.6 by 10 millimeters, which is shorter, and here's the 3 by 10 millimeter. So first we have to install these 2.6 by 10 millimeter screws for the plastic parts. Now here's the plastic part, which will be placed like so. And this will be installed over here. Now the last step is to attach the wheelie bar assembly to the truck, and before we secure the screws we can adjust the angle. So basically there are these three mounting holes for the screw which will let you adjust the angle of the wheelie bar. So the first hole, second and the third. So the outermost hole on the wheelie bar spacer will give you a smaller angle, and the center hole will give you like let's say 15 to maybe 15 degrees of the wheelie angle, and then we have the innermost hole which might give you around 25 to 30 degree of angle. So I'll go with the innermost mounting hole, and this time we have to use the longer screws which are 3 by 10 millimeter. And before I tighten the screw all the way, I'll install this screw as well. So the wheelie bar on my LC Racing EMB monster truck is attached. So this is the wheelie angle that's possible. Let's install the wheels and see if I can just give it a trial run. So that was the installation of the wheelie bar for the LC Racing EMB monster truck. Let's see how it performs, and if the body is installed